Welcome to the Nasboys podcast. So today we got another interview for you guys. This time we got Dank _ Nascar memes, aka Stemp. Stemp, thank you so much for joining the show. How are you doing?
Thanks, Mike, for inviting me on the show. I'm good. I was ready for some racing today, but didn't end up happening. So got some racing tomorrow. Exciting for it. Just eager. I guess that's one way to describe it.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the weirdest videos that we've had to figure out because we were originally going to do the episode and then obviously with the postponement. So we just decided, hey, you know what? Let's interview. So let's get started with the question that we ask anybody. How did you get into NASCAR?
How did I get into NASCAR? Growing up, I think when the movie came out, I was like maybe like 3 years old at the time or something. The movie Cars, everyone knows that, like Lightning McQueen, Vader, all that stuff, Chick Hicks. So I loved that movie growing up. Like when I was a kid, that was like my favorite movie. So my dad, like, he knew what NASCAR was. I mean, like, he had never like been to a race or like really like watched any of that stuff. So he decided to like show me like the real life thing of cars like on TV. I was like really into it. Like I was like a big fan of like all like the racing and all that. So it was 2008. They decided to take me to a race up in Pocono Raceway. I live in Manhattan, so it's about like hour 45 minutes away from me, I think, or something like that. I don't know. I was never the one who did the driving, but so yeah, I went to my first race in 2008. And yeah, ever since then, I mean, I've taken breaks on and off. There were times like over like I didn't watch for a couple years, but besides that, I've just been watching since 2008, I guess you could say.
Awesome. And a lot of people, they do love Cars. I am a Cars fan as well. I think that was a lot of people's favorite movies growing up.
Say one thing that's kind of crazy. Our last interview we did here on the show with Barrett Polhemus, he found NASCAR and started liking NASCAR after watching Cars. So there's a similarity there.
Yeah, like a bunch of people, like especially like on the Instagram platform, like who are like within like teenage years, like or around as old as I am, just started like liking NASCAR solely because of that movie. So I think like just that movie alone was like you just like realize after talking to like so many NASCAR fans, like how they got into it, just realizing how big it was for the sport, just having that movie made.
Right. Now, you were telling us before we got started here with filming that you live in Israel. So what's it like being a NASCAR fan down there, and how often are you really able to watch races?
Oh, it's difficult for sure. I mean, I never really got into talking into it on my podcast. I talked to her for like maybe like a couple minutes after like my first month here or so. But it's difficult for sure. Just being, I'm 7 hours ahead of pretty much everything that goes on. But yeah, like oftentimes, especially night races, just waking up at 2:30 in the morning to watch, pulling all-nighters. So actually, my first 4 weeks here, I don't know if you guys remember, like last year there was a string of 4 straight night races.
Yeah.
I think went from it was like Daytona and then the first round of the playoffs. They were all night races. So 4 weeks in a row, I had to wake up at like 2:30 in the morning.
Wow, that's crazy.
Watch races.
Yeah.
So I've pulled quite a lot of all-nighters this year. One for the Chili Bowl. I know I did that. I think I went to sleep on time for the Daytona 500. Not really on time, but I got some sleep after the Daytona 500. But like all the night races, I either get like maybe like 2-3 hours of sleep or just don't sleep at all. So it's difficult for sure, but it's a commitment. It's a commitment to watch NASCAR here.
Right, I got you. Now let's talk about your meme account. What made you decide to start it?
So this is a while ago. So I literally got the idea back to do it in like December 2018. I think I like posted my first thing in like January 2019 or something like that. Um, I don't know. I've just been into like I don't know, like I enjoyed memes and stuff, like just like browsing through Reddit and all that. Looking online and all that, like the Twitter, Instagram meme accounts. And I'm like, hey, why don't I just like put my own spin on it? I don't know. I just also feel like I don't know, laughing is just I like laughing. I feel like laughing is like a very good part for like mental health. I know I sound like a hippie when I say that, but like I'm like a big believer in like laughing, spreading laughter and all that, spreading a bit of jokes and stuff. I like spreading jokes around. So I feel like it's like a good way to like I don't know, mix a bit of modern culture into NASCAR and spread a couple laughs while doing so. And just like along the way, and so like you get to connect with so many people. Got to connect with drivers. They got guys like you inviting me onto a podcast. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. So
Awesome.
For real. And I've been following you for about pretty much almost since around June or July of 2019. And you
yeah, you've been
definitely
one of the you've been one of the early ones for sure.
yes. And I remember seeing everything also with like how everything from the Bush Liquor account, how we all handled that situation. Just I've just seen you progress and with your content, but not only that, just your memes make so many people laugh, and a lot of people love your memes and your account. And then again, it's also really cool to be able to talk to you again. It's almost been 2 years since you did an interview on my channel, and I
It's
would
been
say
two
you're
years.
one of the best content creators in social media in regard memes. I mean, you definitely have. You're almost at a huge milestone. You're almost at 10K. So also congrats on that.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, it hasn't really been. I thought it was like last summer or something that no, it wasn't last summer. It was like last spring. I remember what's it called? Doing the interview with you on your podcast. I was in my car, not my car, my parents' car, in a parking lot when I did the interview. Since like that was one of the only places I can get some quiet. I remember it being like sunny outside, so I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think I'd be hitting 9,000 followers so soon. But yeah, thank you for the support, Christian.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm gonna keep up with the questions now. We're gonna keep on the Instagram talk. Is there anybody that you looked up to and like inspired you to do the Instagram meme account or inspires you now?
Like originally when I started, I mean, there were some people that like helped me out and stuff, just to, like get a following on my page, and just like asking like, what are the do's and don'ts of this? Like, what should I? Is there stuff that's like not okay to post? Um, Guys like I don't know if you've seen the kind of like Mayo is Blue, like
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so he was one of the like first people like I talked to. Tomboy Racing.
Yes.
This is like back in his back when he was like when his tag was like at Bestest Chase. So back in those days, those were the two like the main guys like that really helped me like get my following together. Yeah, obviously guys that you look up to, or I mean that you like try to like I don't know like that I've had to like change my game a little bit. I was mainly just like a pictures guy, but then I started getting into video editing after seeing guys like Bushlicker, Tremendation, guys like them. So yeah.
Your memes are pretty funny. Clearly what you've been doing has been working. My next question is, what's the craziest moment you've had with like a toxic fan due to a meme? Like, do you know like what your craziest story could have been? I'm sure you have plenty.
You want a list?
Totally. Here for it. I'm here for
it. I don't know. There's been the occasional death threat here and there that I get. Yeah, those are fun. I'd say probably my biggest ones were probably my biggest ones were probably maybe one from just this past week with Denny Hamlin about how one of my memes got him into sensitivity training.
Yeah.
Last year, when Jimmy Johnson DM'd me and replied to one of my comments, and I basically just got absolutely just like crapped on by the entire NASCAR community.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Fun fact: I'm actually blocked on Instagram from Jimmy Johnson. Now,
really,
I am. I really am. And like, it's kind of like the story. I remember I basically said on this comment, and it was about when you remember last season when he had that issue with Harvick and how like he said he didn't turn him.
Wait, Jimmy Johnson?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I kind of recall this. I think you did tell me this.
I texted him on his account basically, and then I got blocked. And I'm still blocked. I can't even see his account. He got offended because I gave him my mind.
Yeah. One thing I could probably have like over a lot of the other meme pages, I could say that I've been left on red by Jimmy Johnson.
Oof. Yeah. That's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually add a kind of smaller question. I'm just interested to see this. Now, out of all like the crazy toxic fans, which driver's fan base do you think you've gotten the most hate from?
This is not even a question. The Chase Elliott fan base by far.
Yes.
Not even a question.
Screw you, Chase Elliott fans. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I try not to be biased like when I make a lot of my stuff, but like me being a Denny Hamlin fan ever since I went to that first race in 2008 that I was talking about, I would say maybe more than slightly biased towards Denny Hamlin and maybe JGR as a whole. So obviously when I make memes about Hendrick drivers, it pisses a lot of people off. So
I'm sure.
Also,
one
thing like that I noticed when I do that is also like part of the industry, you know, like the more attention you get off of like a meme, like the more comments, the more likes you get, the more people you have looking up your page, the more of that type of stuff you're gonna want to post because like it's getting you attention. You're it's kind of like chasing cloud, I guess you can consider. You're gonna get a lot of toxicity for it, but bad publicity is still publicity.
Yeah,
it's true.
I will say that like with Hendrick Motorsports, there's a lot of toxic Hendrick Motorsports fans. That's for sure. One thing that I really like a lot of your posts for sure, where you're not making fun of, but you're making memes of the fan bases that get mad if, say, for instance, especially when Bubba Wallace won at Talladega, some of the memes you made about that. Then Chase Elliott, of course, the Mickey Mouse wins thing theory. But I will say, like with Denny Hamlin, we'll get into more of the thing that happened, the big news of the week, in a little bit. But I was going to ask you, how did you become a fan of Denny Hamlin?
So yeah, back at the first race that I went to, I mentioned that Pocono 2008. Carl Edwards won the race. I don't remember. This is just what my parents have told me. But so I actually got to meet Denny Hamlin there. This was his third year in Cup. This was a guy who was like known for being good at Pocono, swept the races there his rookie season. So he was doing like a meet and greet and stuff, and some dude was like, "Yeah, I don't think I can make it. You guys want some tickets for like a private meet and greet?" I'm like, my parents are like, "Yeah, sure." So got to meet Denny Hamlin, got my picture taken with him, a little 5-year-old me, and Denny Hamlin before he was before now, back when he was like all like chunky and stuff in like 2008. But so yeah, ever since then, I've been a Denny Hamlin fan. How much has it been? 2006, 2022. Yeah, 16 years of never-ending pain. So I've been waiting for that championship for a long time.
Yeah,
Right.
there's times where I thought Denny Hamlin was going to win a championship, and personally, that I'm not a Denny Hamlin fan, but there's times where in the Final Fours, like a couple years ago, where he was in the championship four, and I was out of the drivers that were in it. I'm like, I'd rather see him win because he hasn't won before, but we'll see. He has kind of struggled this year, surprisingly, compared to the last 2 years. When do you think Denny Hamlin will possibly get a win this season?
I mean, to be honest, he was looking pretty good in the first 78 laps we ran earlier today. Had a pretty fast car. On that second restart, seemed to pull away from Kyle Larson. Seemed to be able to work his way through traffic pretty well. He had a lot of confidence in the car. He was like top 5 in practice and qualified outside pole. I think Dover's a pretty decent chance for him to win. But I don't know. I'd have to take a look at the schedule or something. He's already got 1 win this season, thank God. So that locked him into the playoffs. He's not going to finish 14-30 some points. Not expect too much when it comes to championships. It's just been heartbreak time after time. 2010, 2014, 2019. Yeah. If things had gone right for him in those races, he'd have at least 3 championships by now.
Right.
2010 was getting spun by Greg Biffle. 2014 with the call to stay out on old tires after leading the most laps that day. In 2019 with the tape when he was on pace to catch Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
2020, 2021, he just had bad cars that couldn't contend with the Hendrick guys.
Right.
Just car just wasn't good enough. But otherwise, you just learn to expect. What's it called? I've seen it was a tweet, or maybe I think it was in the Bubble Wallace Netflix show or something. It's like don't expect success and then you won't be disappointed or something like that. That's not even just a Bubble Wallace thing. It's just regular in sports.
Yeah, true.
Right.
You can't be disappointed if you don't expect something to happen. And honestly, go into a race feeling neutral, and just the surprise of winning will be that much better,
Right. I understand that completely. I've understood your heartbreak with Joey Logano. Last 2020 actually, I know he was close. 2014, we all know what happened with the jack. So I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Logano's 2015 campaign is probably the one that comes to mind when it comes to missing rings.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I understand why Kenseth was upset, but as a Logano fan, I was still mad that he got wrecked, and especially in the way that he got wrecked. But it is what it is. He has this championship now, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah. 2018. 2018 was not a fun year as a Hamlin fan either.
Now, you made a meme actually about how often people talk about Joey Logano and Kenseth in 2015, how they use that in ads all the time, and I agree with you. It's kind of overused, but here's what it is. It's just a part of NASCAR history. We're going to be talking about this. I'm sure we've talked about it at least 50 times on the podcast.
Every time we go to Martinsville, we have to mention it.
Well, it's also how NASCAR uses Ryan Newman's crash. I thought that was pretty messed up too.
Yeah.
I don't think they've used Newman's crash as much, but you see rivalries and stuff, the stuff that gets people talking, the Hamlin versus Bowman fan, oh, he's such a hack, and all that rivalries last year. The Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick rivalry, they promote that. It's good for them because it gets the people talking. Like I mentioned earlier, even if it's controversial, some of the memes I post, I will keep posting them if it gets attention.
Right.
Yeah. I think one of the best times I've seen 2 drivers' fan bases just completely hate each other was probably when Chase Elliott and Martin Truex Jr. wrecked. And that was glorious. I remember I was on the phone with Mike and we were laughing our butts off, bro. That was a great day.
No, when it comes to fan bases hating each other, you can't get any worse than Dale Jr. and Kyle Busch in 2008.
Yeah.
Or maybe Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, in 2020. Yeah. Seems like Kyle Busch seems to get into a lot of this stuff. Kyle Busch versus Joey Logano. Busch and Logano fans hate each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hamlin and Elliott.
Yeah, for sure. Now we didn't mention this yet, but I'm sure if you haven't heard, if you don't know what happened last week, Stemp made a meme and Denny Hamlin reposted / I don't know if you'd say stolen, but reposted the meme, and he had to get sent to sensitivity training, which then again I thought it was just it just shows how soft things are nowadays and how soft people can be and get offended. And how did you feel when this all happened and with your situation, and how much I'm sure you had a lot of stuff thrown your way? Just explain the situation from your view and how you felt about your favorite driver having to deal with all this too.
Well, honestly, I think like when he posted it, like it was like nighttime here. So like I wake up in the morning and like I just see in like my comment sections like a couple times like, oh, then he posted your meme, haha, LOL, or something like that. But then he starts to see him getting a lot of flack for it. Then he takes it down. So and then he got sensitivity training. Then I just started feeling terrible about myself after making that. I mean, like not for making the meme, just for like, I don't know, just like inadvertently like causing my favorite driver to have to get sent to sensitivity training. Really, I mean, when I made the meme, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Like I've done that same exact meme for multiple other drivers. Like I did it for CJ McLaughlin last year when he basically just turned left on people going into pit road at Richmond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did it with Tyler Reddick in 2020 when he like wrecked the field at the Daytona night race, and he even reposted that meme to his story in 2020. I was pretty excited about that, but so I'm like, okay, you just use it for Kyle Larson. I mean, look, the audio clip when I fit it in, it fits pretty well. Like some of the crash noises even like coincide with Kurt Busch hitting Bubba Wallace, and yeah, I didn't even like think of like the Asian joke correlation until like somebody pointed it out. Like, I think it was like 4 hours after I posted it. I'm like, oh well, I guess you could see it that way. But then after looking through the comments in Hamlin section and people like actually getting pissed off, I'm like, oh boy. But, yeah, it was a bit. I don't know. I did milk the situation a lot. I will admit it, but like I said, when you're trending, you got to take a bit of an advantage of it, you know.
Right, I got you. And I don't think you should feel bad for it. I understand like why you would, but the meme was hilarious. I loved it. I love that base or whatever the template of it with the Asian lady. And the meme in general was just funny, and I wish people would just learn how to take jokes, because I could see maybe where people would think, okay, Larson's Asian, this person's Asian, that's an Asian joke. But no, Hamlin was not trying to be racist. It's not like, they were acting like he was calling him like slurs and he was criticizing his driving, when in all reality, he was just making fun of the situation and how he most likely has to pay for those two cars.
Yeah, I mean, like definitely Denny as the car owner has a right to be pissed off at that. Like, and besides, like him and Kyle Larson are friends. They've jabbed fun at each other before. Like, I remember I think it was like 2020 Auto Club or 2019 Auto Club where Hamlin posted a video of him like running into like the back of Larson with a shopping cart when they were like in like a Walmart or something, because Hamlin had tagged him in the back earlier in the day. Like just like playful trolling and stuff. Right. I mean, and look, yeah, if you looked at the comment section, I'd say like a solid like 95% of the reactions were positive reactions, like ha ha ha, that was so funny. But then like there's people who just try to like, I don't know, try to make stuff negative about anything. Like
exactly
as I mentioned earlier, like I made this to try to make people laugh. I don't try to make like a racist joke or anything. I would not do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Denny Hamlin would do that, especially considering he's an owner for a team that is that seems to be very big on diversity. 2311 Racing, like they have like their own like diversity scholarship program. They have a sports only African American driver, Bubba Wallace, the sports only African American owner in Michael Jordan. I mean, you've seen Denny Hamlin, what's it called? Take diversity training before, donate to Urban Youth Racing School. I don't think there was any racial intent in doing that, but like as you said, like people just have to point out the negatives and stuff. And what I saw was kind of funny. It's kind of like a mix between like the snowflakes on Twitter who were actually mad at him because like they actually thought it was racist and tried to get him canceled. Mm-hmm. And you also saw a bunch of just Hendrick fans who just saw the opportunity to get Denny Hamlin possibly kicked out of his ride and just got mad at him. Like like a bunch of like people like profiles that I was looking at, they just like criticizing snowflakes and saying people are too soft, but yet they're the ones who were trying to cancel Denny Hamlin about the snow. I'm like, come on, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I agree with your points and with Mike's point as well. Like, it was absolutely hilarious. I thought it was a great meme, and a lot of people did too. I mean, even looking at Instagram, the comments of that, it seemed all great, like you mentioned. And then Twitter, there's just I wouldn't say all of them are boomers, but a lot of them probably are, just don't know how to handle a joke. And I mean, it just shows you how soft the internet can be at times, and just how it is nowadays. Just people get offended about the littlest things and just try to twist things to things that are not, and to intentions that it wasn't.
Yeah, NASCAR Twitter is kind of a clown show. I mean, that's why I wasn't on Twitter for such a long time. I mean, I eventually got onto it because like it helped with like me making and all that. Then I don't know, just like spreading platforms and stuff. Like I started making Twitter, TikTok as well. So yeah, that's why I wasn't on Twitter for a long time. NASCAR Twitter is pretty there's a lot of drama going on there, like unnecessary drama.
Right. Twitter in general that's why I'm not on there. I used to, but I thought it was boring, and then I realized how much of a clown show it really was.
Yeah, NASCAR Twitter, NBA Twitter, NFL Twitter. Actually, NFL Twitter seems to be somewhat okay. But yeah.
All right. So for those that haven't checked out your podcast, could you tell us what it's called? You do also have the NASCAR Heat 5 League and a Twitch, which will be up on the screen right now, and a YouTube channel. Can you tell us a little bit about your podcast and the name of it?
I mean, I didn't want to like self-promote like without like permission or anything earlier when I talked about it, but yeah, I started the podcast about, well, now that I think about it, it's about a year ago. It's called the Dank Nascar Download. I'm not very consistent with my uploads, so you might have to like bear with me and stuff. But yeah, it's called the Dank Nascar Download by G4 Stemp. Should be on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, all that stuff. I personally think that Spotify is superior, but look, if you're into the other stuff, okay, go ahead. It's available on there too. But yeah, besides that, yeah, my league racing, I got into Xbox league racing it was NASCAR Heat 4 when I started. I started gaming during COVID. Not a lot to do. I had a lot of free time on my hands. So yeah, I just started joining leagues, and I eventually made my own league. There were like a bunch of problems where I thought like in other leagues I'm like, hey, if I was a league owner, I would do this, or if hey, I was just something else, I'd do that. And I'm like, you know what? Why not? Why not do it yourself? And I mean, the league has Fanboy Hooters Cup Series. It's kind of like people would say it's like a meme league. I mean, it's named after memes. We name our races after a lot of like funny stuff, a lot of like jokes on the internet or something like that. And yeah, it's a lot of fun in the parties. We have a lot of laughs and stuff. But the racing itself is pretty good for a Heat 5 league. This season we've had more people than we've ever had before. We consistently get like 20 drivers per race. I think we had like 18 show up the other day, but like the weeks before we had 23, 24 drivers. Like those previous couple weeks, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's it's a bit of work, but like people enjoy the league. It's kind of it feels like kind of corny saying like kind of like a family, but it's a good group of guys. And definitely had fun doing it.
Awesome. Well, I think that's going to close the episode. Once again, thank you so much for coming on our show. We really appreciate it, especially with the time zone difference. Make sure you guys go subscribe to his podcast. I'm going to put the links to that in the description. Follow his account too. It will also be in the description. And follow us too. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right. See you.
You wanted what I think. All these women lie.